There's nothing worse than seeing that grant application landing your inbox and you open it up and it's asking for a load of information, a load of metrics you haven't heard of before. Or maybe it's creeping up to your end of year and it's time to start putting together your annual impact report. And that is stressful for any organisation. But don't worry, we're here to help. Hi, I'm Daryl, co-founder of MissionMetrics. MissionMetrics is a platform we started really to solve that problem. We take data analytics, which is seen predominantly in the sector as time consuming and expensive, and we make it not time consuming and not expensive. We really break it down into 4 steps. So you've got data modeling and data cleaning, visualization, reporting, and insights. So rather than me ramble on, let's jump into MissionMetrics and I'll go into it in more detail. Welcome to the MissionMetrics app. So step 1 was data modeling and data cleaning. So before we get to this point where you have access to the application with the pretty dashboard in, we would have done a full data audit. So we would have found out what data you're collecting, where it's being stored, how it's being inputted, and we would have cleaned it all up and centralized it into one central hub that we both have access to. Your data input can all be done through that central hub. The reason we locate it in a central hub is because it's under the Microsoft ecosystem. So you get the full data security from Microsoft, which means we have no issues with data in transit to worry about by emailing CSV files or Excel spreadsheets to each other. Once that's done, which is one of the hardest parts of the process, but once that's done, we get to this point, which is the dashboards. Now, with the dashboards, I've put a demo data set in place to demo this to you. ABC Foundation, the use case of it is they handle youth work in the West Midlands. They do a lot of contract for service work with different organisations and different councils. And their brief for this project was they needed a dashboard for a high-level overview of the organisation that they could present to stakeholders, or they could present in grant application meetings. They also needed an internal dashboard which drilled down even further in a much more granular way into their data sets, and also a finance dashboard. So you can see from the dashboard that they would present to kind of stakeholders, it just gives a very high level overview. Now these can be customized to your organization, whatever you need them to display. We have some organizations that like dashboards to be on a department basis, so they'll have like marketing, impact and programs, finance, for example. All of the dashboards are interactive, so you can drill down and you can see, you can filter year on year. The internal dashboard takes it kind of one step further. So for this use case, with there being involved in youth work, I thought it would be good for us to be able to highlight at-risk students early on before they're at the point of withdrawing. So we can do that with kind of the scatter diagram at the top. We can highlight individual student IDs and kind of what their attendance is, what their engagement score is, and then more into kind of the financials, like the alternative cost and the intervention cost. Just allows the organisation to be able to know where their organisation is at that present time. Now, the benefit with using that centralised hub is every time you input data into that central hub, it automatically updates this dashboard. So you're getting real-time access to your data at whatever point it is, whether it needs to be 2 o'clock in the morning, for example, that data set will be completely up to date with what your data is saying at that time. The next step from that is the reporting side of it. So for us as analysts, we have a trained AI model in place that is trained within the data analytics parameters. It understands completely your data set. And what it does is it just allows our analysts to be able to get a full analytical report with every kind of metric, every possible insight that data set can produce. And what it allows us to do is to generate reports for you. Now, these reports can be structured in whichever way you need them to be structured. So we're happy to give you one report a week, and you can use that for your full annual impact report. For example, you can get in contact with your analyst and say, look, I need a full impact report from my annual returns, it needs to contain X, Y, Z, and we can do that for you. So, but it can also work with if you're going for particular grant applications. Now, as many of you well know, the information that's required for grant applications now, some of them are like 15, 20 pages long, and they're asking for really like in-depth metrics. This is all something that we can help with, and we can actually generate reports specifically for those grant applications. All of those reports are going to be located within the application. You can download them as a PDF. They will contain any visuals that are relevant to that report, and all visuals from the dashboards are downloadable in a zip file, so you can use them in your own material as well. You'll also have a history tab where you have access to all previous reports, which is going to be absolutely key for you to go back 6 months, see what was on a report 6 months ago, and see if those steps have been taken. Our analysts are also in place to be able to help you with recommendations and next steps. So making kind of data-driven business decisions moving forward is all something that you have access to your analyst. You can pick up the phone, drop them an email, and they'll always be happy to run you through. The next part of it is the Data Schema Explorer. Now, this is predominantly something that us as analysts will use, but it's very helpful for you to understand where your data is being kept, what tables contain what. And the reason that we've put this in is because if you want to start a new program, for example, in the new year, and you can easily see at this point, are we collecting the right data for that? And it just allows us to be able to put processes in place if you're not. There's also an AI chatbot here, which understands kind of your data scheme, and you can ask it questions like, am I tracking marketing data? And it will quickly tell you, I mean, this one, for example, we haven't got a marketing table. So once it kind of queries the data set, it will quite rightly say that at the moment, we're not tracking any data for marketing. That could be something we could look into for that organization. That AI chatbot is also available on your reporting page as well. So you can interact with your report, ask it questions. It understands if you want to ask it to query the data set for specific metrics, it can do it for you. We also allow you to be able to benchmark yourself against your peers. Now, benchmarking is something that is very, very common in profit-driven businesses, but for whatever reason, not so common in the not-for-profit space. So benchmarking allows us to pull all information that's available from the Charity Commission for yourself and for other organisations within your income band and within your cause area. And you can view industry averages. Now, this only works if you are registered with or you have submitted to the Charity Commission. So for new charities or for associations, this won't necessarily be available. However, you can still use parts of it to be able to see what other charities within your kind of cause area are doing and how they're operating and the year-on-year trends. But if you have submitted and you have got information with the Charity Commission, it will all be viewable on this page. So you'll be able to see your total income and expenditure that's been submitted. You'll also have helpful filing status alerts as well. So if you are late submitting, it will tell you to submit, and you can pull information regarding your cause area, how you do it, and also income and expenditure versus your peers. So this will work out averages across your income band and cause area, and just to see where you're sitting. Now, another helpful part of this is to be able to benchmark yourself against individual organisations. So this could be organisations that operate within the same cause area as you, for example, or if you're looking to run a new set of programs that are kind of cross a cause area that you haven't necessarily been involved with before. This is very helpful for you. So we've used Oxfam as an example, but you can pull kind of all information, all publicly available information from the Charity Commission that is available for Oxfam. And it will allow you to be able to compare yourself and them exactly kind of what their percentage spend is, what their days of reserves are, fundraising cost, 5-year income trajectory, and also their income sources, how their income's broken up. This allows us to be able to kind of really see where you are at the moment and what the kind of trends are within the sector moving forward. That wraps up our MissionMetrics app demo. Remember, data is something that can be used to take your impact to the next level, and we can help you every step of the way with that. So, on a final note, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. And if you do have any further questions, please do get in contact with us. The email address will be on the page somewhere. Alternatively, you can contact us through our website, missionmetrics.io.